Down at the bottom I put on there, algae blooms are a problem to best avoid, and maintaining proper water quality and frequent brushing of the pool walls to prevent algae, the opportunity to get started. So you might want to just get a brush when you're super chlorinating. Just get a pool brush and a regular handle and just go around these walls, just give it a quick brush. The second sheet, and I would recommend you guys doing this, I put a clipboard downstairs in your pit. Just take your water samples and monitor it day to day. That calcium hardness is important. Make sure you keep that calcium hardness up so this material doesn't delaminate.
We're at 50 now, and you said close to 200, 400?
2 to 400. Everyone probably knows this fountain's got a wind dial on it up on the ceiling, so if you get a windy day and everything's throttled back, that's why. So, pretty self-explanatory. If you have any mechanical aptitude, it's a pretty easy system down here. Each pump has its own check valve, has its own throttling valve on the discharge side. Discharge is all high, suction is all low. If you're going to clean air strainers, shut off the suction valve, or actually shut off the pump first, shut off the suction valve, the discharge valve, take the strainer out, clean it, put it back in. It's pretty self-explanatory. Make sure everything's tight, turn the pump back on. Sometimes you might miss an airless strainer screw. Make sure you tighten it back down so you have no leaks. These strainers, sometimes the O-rings, if you get like a piece of plaster or something that was in the strainer in that O-ring, they'll create a leak. Just make sure you clean the top of that strainer basket off real good, or the actual lid. Clean it off with some water before you put the lid on it.
Do you recommend greasing the O-rings with anything?
I grease them for the winter after the water's all drained.
Petroleum jelly?
Yeah. Petroleum jelly probably works better than anything.
Alright. Or metallic grease.
Again, as I mentioned upstairs, each one of these pumps has a drain, or each one of these lines has a drain on the bottom of it. Sounds like you guys have drained this fountain a few times already. In the winter time.
About back in here, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, back behind here.
Yes, sir. After the fountain is drained in the winter, just make sure all those valves are open for winterization, for heavy rainfalls, stuff like that. If we get any water sitting in there.
What about the bottom of them, since they're going to have a little water at the bottom of the hole that you get out, or
that's okay. That's the only one that's that low. And all the other strainers have got drains in the bottom of it. Just make sure you take those off. What you might want to consider doing, is we do it sometimes on the larger projects. When you take that plug out of the strainer, I put a hose bib fitting on it. In the wintertime, all you got to do is open that bib up. You don't have to keep taking that plug off and on every year, and something gets stripped and it winds up being a mess.
You can vacuum this out of the water. It looks like warm enough down here.
It'll stay warm enough down here, yeah. Plus, if you open it up and you start getting water in it, it's going to overflow over to the drain anyway. So it's not going to go any higher than the bottom of the pipe. So you're in good shape. Obviously, these are all pressure relief valves. I check them every once, especially on this one, on your filter, I check them. There's a pressure relief valve on top of this. I would recommend back washing at least once a week, even if the pressure differential tells you it doesn't have to. I still do it just in case.
I found it for back wash. You might as well turn this on right here.
Yes.
Because the deal is it's going to suck a lot of water out.
Yep. I mean, you're going to be back washing. I think your flow on this is 98 gallons a minute on the pressure side, so you're probably going to be back washing 60, 70 gallons a minute. And just back wash for your sight glass is pretty clear. Right here. Right. Once that clears up, reverse everything and just put it back in filtration mode. Well, we determined it was either something was clogging the pipe or the pre-drive needed to be turned up, because right now it's at 70% of those arch splits. Sounds like that's been cleaned out and you haven't had a problem since. So we're going to leave the pre-drive alone. But if you get more of this residual inside the strainer, then we got a problem. But when you guys do maintenance on this thing, make sure you shut both your valves off. With your intake valve, make sure this is shut off as well, so you relieve the pressure. Those lids sometimes are a little hard to get off. So what I'd recommend right now, you guys put this trichlor in here, I shut these valves, take this off, and clean the system roll off.
Clean that out?
Clean it out.
Okay, can we take it out? Will that come out of the valve there or anything, or does it not?
I don't think it's a, yeah, it'll pop right off.
Okay. So we take it over there and hose down. Hose right here.
Take these two off, take it over there, hose it out, and take it upstairs if you're worried about the fumes.
Right.
Find the hose upside or up in the grass. Clean it out real good, make sure that valve's unclogged.
What about those hoses? We don't have to worry about these hoses up here, right?
No.
No, okay.
I mean, if you got a compressor somewhere, you might blow them out just to make sure there's no obstruction.
Okay.
If you put trichlor in there, it'll get really gummy, and it'll clog these lines. That might be part of the problem now. This may not be working. That'd be the first thing I'd do.
Okay. The trichlor, is it the right product for this, or should we be
bromine? Nothing but bromine. Bromine tablets or sticks. Tablets work best, but any pool company around here will have them. Stick something down bromine erosion feeder. They'll know what they're talking about. It's the Hayward bromine erosion feeder. They'll give you the right tablets for it.
How often do you think about this?
Grease the motors, I do it once a year. And you're basically going to run this fountain maybe 6, 7 months a year.